What's going on, everybody? Matt back here with another tutorial, and today we're going to be well, actually, I've updated my Unity to Unity 4, and what that means basically is it had some trouble copying the old creator thing file over, so I'm just going to have to make it again. So just to start, basically, we're going to have quite a long episode this time, and we're just going to see how far we can go with it. So we're going to go make our cube, make our floor, like we have in the other videos if you haven't already watched them. I'll just make it kind of like this, just for now. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So if you've already got the setup, I'll link to the where we are now as of episode 6, I think it was, right now on the screen. And but if you haven't followed them, then you can follow along here. So yeah, so we're going to make our floor, but we want to make it a bit bigger than before. Um, this is so because we're going to be adding some more things in. If you've watched my other videos, then you're going to probably know what we're going to be adding in. So we'll call this one floor, and then we'll create our player as another cube, and we'll drag it up a bit. Let's go on to, and then we're also going to add a directional light. It doesn't really matter which direction it's in at the moment, but in fact, I'll just set all the rotation to 0, and then actually we'll change that one to 90 over there. Okay, so let's make our player. We'll call him Joe, and then we will delete the main camera from the script, from the scene, and then add our own camera to Joe. By double clicking on him, we can zoom in, and then if you just add a camera, then it will actually have it centered on the screen, which is the center of where Joe would be. And then we drag camera onto Joe, and so now we've got our player with a camera there, and we can see it on the game view. We're also going to want to add our as long as we've got our character controllers in here, we're also going to want to add our camera control, mouse look, and on the camera we want it to be only on the y-axis, and then on Joe we need to add another one, and we want it to be only on the x-axis. And then we need to make our move script for Joe. So let's make a new folder, and we will call it scripts. And excuse me. And then we will add another JavaScript, and we will call that one Joe Move, and then we'll open that one up. Oops, open that one up. Waiting for Mono Develop to open, and then I like all these new things. It starts off with a pragma strict, which is actually it fixes some of the bugs with scripts, and it's Unity's own fix for it. So yeah, so we'll add a new variable by going var move speed. You can add a capital or not. I think I'm going to actually have a capital there, and then we'll put it as a float. It doesn't have to be a float. Let's put it as 2 for now, and then semicolon at the end. You could just delete this bit here and just have it as equals 2, but then you won't be able to see it down here on the inspector panel. So it's personal preference, really. So yeah, so into our update, we're going to put if, and then get button down. Do we want down? No, we want just button. And then we'll have it as W. Let me try and remember this. And then open squiggly brackets, and then I'm not sure if that'll work actually. Oh yeah, I got to close the other bracket. That's one of the biggest things that causes errors. It's not get button. It's input. Oops, get button. We just want it to get button actually, not button down. Okay, so that one works. And then inside there, we're going to want to put a transform, translate, vector 3 forward, well, dot forward, multiplied by moveSpeed. Close that bracket, and then we're just going to copy that a few times. So we need WAS and D. And then we're also going to want to put all the jump stuff in here as well, if you've seen the other videos. In fact, I think it was the last one. No, the one before last, because last one was 3D. So yeah, so I'll put that in a second, but we'll just make sure this is working, and we're going to need to put it in our what is it? Into project settings, edit project settings, and then input. We need to put our keys into there, so we'll put it, make the size up to about 21 or something, and we can change these jumps to a W. Oh. And an A and an S. It's always best to just kind of make more than you need, because it doesn't really affect anything. And then just D, and that'll do for now. In fact, I'll put one now called space. Just put space and space. Just for when we want to sort out the jump. There is another jump that's on the joystick, so we'll make our own one. So now, if we put our Joe move onto Joe, ooh, yeah, it's a bit fast. And actually, we do need to change the script because they're all going forward. So A is going to be left, S is going to be back, and then D is going to be right. And then if actually we change our move speed to 1, it still might be too fast, but yeah, it's far too fast, but we can still play around with that. And I would personally, I don't like going into decimals here, so I'll put move speed divided by 4, let's say, for now, and we'll just do that on all of them. Really, you should test it on 1 before you copy them there, so then it's easier to get the speed right. That's still probably a little bit too fast. See if I put it to 6. It all depends on the size of your areas and the size of your object. So it's all relative. So you're going to have to kind of get it right for yourself, depending on how big you made the floor and your object. So I think that's all right for me for now. So we're also going to add a rigid body to our Joe. So we're going to go component, physics, and rigid body, and we'll leave them how they are. So now should fall down, and we can walk around, and we can fall off the edge. Oh no! So once we've got that made, we're going to be adding. Actually, now we're gonna add the jumping. So the way we're going to do that is add another collider actually to Joe. In fact, I want to bring him a little bit off the floor so I can see whereabouts it is. What you want to do is get to a position like that, and then you're going to want to go component, physics, and then add a sphere collider, because you can't add 2 of the same kind of collider. So sphere is probably best for this. And it asks if you want to replace the old one, which we don't. We want to add this as a new one. So it's going to think that we've actually got 2 colliders. But the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else is trigger. And what that's going to do is stop it from being a collider, and it will use it as like a area around our object. And then we're going to need to move it down here, because you can't move it on the object, or else you just move the whole object. So we need to put the Y down a bit, but not too much. We want it just to be sticking out the bottom, almost like it's kind of a foot. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see it, but depends on how close to the ground you want to be able to jump again. So that'll do for there. And actually, I'm going to bring the radius down and then drop it down further. In fact, I think that'll be fine. So we've got our trigger, and then inside our movement script again, we're going to want to make a part of the script for that. So we're going to go function on trigger enter with all capitals at the start, and then it needs to be. It doesn't need to be, but you need to name what the other collider is. So we're going to go other. I'm just going to call it other, and then colon, and then I think it's collider. I always make the same mistake with this, and I call it what? I call it either collider or collision, and then it's the other one. So in fact, I'll save it and we'll try it now. Oh, that. What's that doing? Oh yeah, it's because it thinks it's because it's looking for collider. So call it collider, and then that clears that. So it's other colon collider, and then we'll add a new variable at the top called canjump, and then it's a boolean, so we're just going to call it false for now. So it's always false, and in fact you want you don't want your player to be touching the floor, otherwise it'll mess up the script a bit. So we want canjump to be false and him to be a little bit off the floor, him or her, it's up to you. So on trigger enter, and then we need to name the floor. So we're going to go if other tag is floor, open brackets again, and then we want to put canjump equals true. So we'll save that, and then we need to put the tag the floor. So we're going to go click on our floor and go on tag over here and go add tag, and then on the drop down from the tag we need to put a new element. Instead of element 0, we're going to put floor, and then press enter, and then on our floor we want to add it as a tag over here down on this, so floor. So now if we select Joe, we can see it, we can watch over here. So it's got canjump is false, it is not ticked at the moment, but when he lands on the floor it is ticked, so that's working. So once we've got that in there, in fact our move speed is going to be wrong now, because I didn't update it. So probably going to want to change that to about 3. But make sure you update it, otherwise you make the same error as that. So that's good, all's good, and now we can carry on with our jump. So if canjump is true, so we'll put that inside the update function, and in fact we'll put if Input.GetButton and space. In fact, we'll put getButton down, and then space, because we named that earlier, didn't we? And then inside that one we want if, and then we just simply want to put canjump, because basically that'll say if it is true, if canjump is a thing, then we want it to. In fact, we'll make another script for jumping. So we'll go gameObject.AddComponent. That's there already. Add component with capital letters at the start, and then we will name that joeJump, and then close that one off as well. So if we save that, check if there's any errors. There are errors. I always forget to close the other bracket on the if statements, and then that clears that. And then we need to make a new script called joeJump with a capital J, because that's how we wrote it. And then inside there, we're going to want to put. We're going to make a timer, so we'll go inside the start function. We'll go wait, open bracket, close bracket, and then semicolon. And then on the update, it doesn't really matter because it's going to delete itself after time. So we're going to go, in the update we'll go transform, translate, vector 3, and then up, and then might work if we just leave it like that. Let's try it for now. Oops. We need to add our function. Okay, that one's not working. Let's have a check on our scripts. So what have we got? Get button. Let's set that to just get button. Try that. And that one's still not working. And we've got joeJump in there as well, so that should be working. Let's change all of these to small j's. I always get this error as well with my third-person controllers, so we're going to have to... I'm literally just going to delete that because I'm not going to use it. And the third-person camera as well. Okay. So... we've got if, get button. You see it's inside D. There we go. So that one's closed. That one's closed. Okay. Now we fly far too fast. So let's change our... let's add a jump speed in here. So we'll go var jump speed. Let's put a capital S. Float, and we'll put that as 1, and then we can put multiplied by jump speed divided by 4, let's say. This is going to change though, because we're going to add some more gravity to it. Got to make sure all the names are right as well. That's why that one had an error. Okay. So now we want to put a inside the wait function. We need to put a yield. So yield, wait for seconds, and then we will put let's put 0.5 for now and see how that looks. And then we want to just literally destroy this. And then also inside our move function we want to put a OnTriggerExit as well. So we'll copy that one and put OnTriggerExit, and then if the target is floor, then we change that one to false. It's really having trouble having the renamed joeJump. Okay, so let's zoom out here. So that works fairly well. Obviously, I'm jumping far too high, so we need to change either the time. Let's change the time that it takes. So if we change that to 0.1, I think I'm just going to have to rename it in the script because it doesn't like that joeJump has a lowercase j. So let's just have it named like that. And then okay, so we could work like that, and it does look a bit weird because we need to sort out the gravity. So let's do that. So we'll go into our update of our move script. We're going to go. I'm going to have to check this up actually. Let me. So we'll go. Unity Physics add gravity. Let's go inside this one. Oops, just got to sign in. Okay, and then we want to do like this one here. So let's copy that. Put it straight into our script. So we want to do rigidbody.AddForce and then a multiplication of gravity. So let's leave it at 3 like it is there, and see how that one works. Oops. That looks a bit better. In fact, I think I'll keep that one like that. You do move quite fast, but you can obviously change that. Oops, fell off the edge. Okay, so we've got all that added. What else we're gonna do? Let me just check the timer. Cool. So 22 minutes in. So let's go with shooting stuff. Actually, no, we'll make an enemy for now. So we'll go gameObject, create another one, and we'll call it. We'll make a. Let's make it a. Let's make another cube. Pull them out. Okay, now this gets fairly complicated once you start doing this. So we'll call our. What should we call our enemy? We'll call it. Kel. Let's call it Kel. Like Keenan and Kel. Okay, so we'll add a rigid body to him. And then we need to start making our move script for him. So let's create a JavaScript. And we'll say kel move. And we'll open that up. So we need to make him so he chooses certain, like, chooses angles to rotate at, and then he can move. We don't want him to move all the time, so sometimes we want him to just stand still and kind of look around, maybe. So let's go about that by making some variables first. So we'll make a rotation one. So we'll go rot max, and we will have that as 90, and then so it can rotate up to 90 degrees one way, and then down to negative 90. So it can rotate up to 180 degrees from where it was before. And then, well, no, it's got 180 degrees worth of turning to do that it can do. And then, what else are we going to want? Well, inside our update, we'll put inside our start actually we'll put our let's make a rot amount. We'll just put and we'll put it as 0 for now. So inside our start function, we're going to put rot equals, and then a random dot range of our rot max and rot min, and then let's just get it to call that for now. So we'll go debug dot log is rot amount. So if we put that onto our kel, then it says it down in the bottom corner here. So that was 74. Does it again? It's minus 47. So that's how we want it to work. So we can get rid of that. So that's working. So then we want it to choose also if it's going to move or if it's not going to move. So we need to put let's put move yes is 2 and move no is 1. Actually no, we'll put it as 0. And then we can go into our start function as well. We'll go moving equals random range move yes and move no, and then we'll also do a debug for that. Moving. Let's change moving actually, because it doesn't seem to like that, to will move. And then we need to put the variable of it. Okay, so let's try that one out. So it was 2, and then it was 1, and it was 1, it was 1, it was 1. Okay. So with that one done, I need to get rid of this. With that done, we can get rid of our debug. And so now it will choose whether it moves or not, which if it moves, let's make it so if it moves it's 2, and if it doesn't move it's 1, and then it rotates a certain amount every time as well. So we probably don't really need the update. Oh, we will need the update actually. So we'll do if will move is 1 is 0 actually. No, yeah, we'll do is 1, and we'll add a move speed here as well. So then, no, we won't. So if will move is 1, then we want it to not move at all. So we'll put transform translate vector 3 forward. Oops. No, we will do moveSpeed by moveSpeed. So let's put moveSpeed at the top on its own. So moveSpeed is, we'll put it at 0 because then we can change it when we need to. So that will go by moveSpeed, and then in fact we don't need the if statement there anymore. So that's all that's going to be in the update, and then we want to put some more functions. So we're going to go we'll put rot now. So function rot now is going to choose. It's going to make it rotate. So we're going to go transform rotate, and then we're going to go 0, and then rot amount, and then 0. So it will rotate it then, and only then it will rotate it instantly rather than turning slowly. It will just rotate, so it'll turn. And then we want it to call whether it moves or not. So we also want to up here put move now as another function. So we'll go function move now, open it up. This is slightly different than the one I did before, but it's close enough. So inside move now, we're going to want to put a our will move. So if will move, let me just put that inside a bracket. If will move is 1, then move speed is 0.4. I know I don't really like putting decimals, but it's easier than trying to divide by 0 on the other bit. So we'll put move speed as 0.4. No, move speed is 0 when it's 1, and then copy that one, paste it, and then if will move is 2, then move speed is 0.4. So yeah, and then at the bottom of that one, we're just going to put we need to add how long it's going to take before it then does something else. So at the bottom of our move now, we're going to put a wait, just like before, and then we'll put a fixed move time for now. We'll put that as 1.5, 1.5 seconds, and then inside our wait function, we'll put yield, wait for seconds, and we can just simply call move time and then start the whole function again. So then that can set it to 0 and it can rotate it as well. So yeah, so if we save that and we can give it a test. Transform didn't like. Where are we? Should be fine. Oh, I forgot the S. So let's clear up have I still got that debug in there? No. So if we press play now, and we watch him, he's rotating a little bit every now and again, and actually I have a feeling he is moving, but really slowly. So we're going to need to change that. Let us actually just reset that just in case. Yeah, it's moving very slowly. So instead of putting our move speed at that, we'll put it as 1. And that was too fast. So we'll put it as 1, and then we'll try and divide the move speed over here. So we'll put divided by 3, just like our player is. Yeah, so that one works. Obviously, he's moving a bit too fast and for too long, actually. So we'll put our move time down to 0.5, and we'll actually put our speed down a little bit more, so he's actually slower than us. And we're going to make it so our will move is different as well, because then he rotates more often than he moves. So we're going to put our move yes to 3, and then we can put our if will move is less than or equal to 2, then it does nothing, and then if it's equal to 3, then it moves. So now I haven't really got a big enough floor space to show this off, but so the majority of the time it does nothing, but then sometimes he moves, except he doesn't seem to be moving at all. Might be that I need to change. In fact, it should be. I need to reset. You do need to keep resetting just to make sure that it still works. Okay, so let's make the floor bigger, just so I can show you, and then I think we're going to call it a day for this video. It's really just been kind of trying to catch my Unity 4 up with everybody else's. Yeah, so he's moving randomly, and then if you've already got the shoot stuff, then you can shoot him as well. So next episode we'll be going into shooting again on this one, and then we'll also start having it so the enemies can come towards us as well. And so I hope that's helpful for any new viewers, and to kind of go through everything in one go, all the movement and adding AI. So now we'll be able to move on from here over the next week or so. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a long one, but it's hopefully been useful for you guys. So don't forget to like the video if you find this useful, and I will see you next time.